Today's show brought to you by veterans. Yes, the real, actual heroes. Selflessness and sacrifice are really the only two things you really need to say. Veterans. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman. Broadcasting live from the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond, you're listening to 90.1 FM. It's Veterans Day. Yes, shout out to all the real heroes. And we're going to give you a shout out right now. Make sure you tell everybody who you know that's a veteran that you salute them.
You could accept the fact that the city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportions. It means it's Old Testament. Wrap of context. Fire, brimstone, seas, boiling.
The Veterans Day National Ceremony is held each year on November 11th at Arlington National Cemetery in Arlington, Virginia. The ceremony commences precisely at 11 a.m., just about 13 minutes ago, with a wreath laying at the tomb of the unknown soldier and continues inside the Memorial Amphitheater with a parade of colors by veterans organizations. World War I officially ended with the Treaty of Versailles that was signed on June 28th, 1919. However, the fighting ended about 7 months before, on the 11th hour of the 11th day in the 11th month. 11, 11, 11. For that reason, November 11th, 1918, was largely considered the end of the war, and the proverbial quote, the war to end all wars, otherwise known and dubbed Armistice Day. On June 1st, 1954, at the urging of veteran service organizations, Congress amended the commemoration of yet again by changing the word armistice to veterans. So the day would honor American veterans in all wars. But the question is that there is Veterans Day, and of course there is Memorial Day. Two different days, both saluting veterans. Memorial Day. Can I just say for just a moment that probably one of the things that irks the hell out of me more than anything else is when you wish somebody a happy Memorial Day. If that couldn't be the most inept, ignorant, and most lack of self-awareness statement that anybody could ever say, that is wishing somebody a happy Memorial Day. I have to say this on Veterans Day because it seems that there's a lot of people. You can, of course, say Happy Veterans Day, I guess, if you will, but it brings me back to the concept of Memorial Day. We do have Veterans Day and we have Memorial Day, but God bless America. Damn it, if you could sit there and just do one thing for me, and that is from here on out, never wish anybody a happy Memorial Day. Listen, damn it, I know it's Veterans Day, but this needs to be said. because I hear this all the time. And listen, the record needs to be set. You don't wish somebody a happy Memorial Day. The reason why is because if you're doing memorial stuff, what is happening is that you're in memory, in memoriam or whatever, because that's the thing. So I sit there and I say that I feel like that I have to sit there and clarify everything because you know what? Oftentimes people sit there and I tell you what, if you're watching on the Sam Cam at Sam Newsman, the Sam Cam, we're here on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Facebook, and also Instagram over here. We're also broadcasting live. But one of the things that always happens is that people sit there and they talk about this lapel pin that I have over here on my shoulder, which is from the great military soldier. I believe it is. Do we know? Anyway, we'll get it. Corporal Caldwell, Corporal O.N. Caldwell. Yes, that is the. I believe that is the corporal. I believe it's corporal. Anyways, listen. He was previously after the Vietnam War. Corporal Caldwell was working on helicopters, so that's what that is. Here, people, it's interesting because I go to conventions all the time. One of the things is that Sam Jones, who was Flash Gordon. Sam Jones was Flash Gordon. Sam Jones was Flash Gordon. I met Sam Jones, aka Flash Gordon, and there's been a couple of it. I met the guy who was Jason in the Friday the 13th movies, and it was interesting because I've been wearing this lapel pin for years. Reason why I do that is because the men and women who sacrificed their time, effort, and their time that they could spend with their families for freedom. Can I just say that freedom was a thing? I'm not saying that it's there anymore. God bless America. If you sit there and you Google freedom and you sit there and you wonder where America ranks, we're not even at the top anymore. We're not. But you know what? That does not discredit the service of men and women in the armed forces. I just want to say that. No, I understand that the police officers, are there to serve and protect the judges, lawyers, and also the politicians. I understand that. That's a whole nother thing. Oh, no, I'm sure there's good cops and police officers. Yes, that is true. But to serve and protect has nothing to do with you as an individual. No, it has nothing to do. That's to serve and protect the existing order of doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs. Now, I'm sorry, but you know what? That's just the facts. That's the reality. And I have to make sure that the record is set. But it is Veterans Day. And I want to talk about veterans. I think my producer over there, Citizen Germ? What, you over there back behind the glass? Yeah, all right. So what do you have anything to say? You don't have anything to say. Well, I'm not going to turn your mic on. Well, I might turn on your mic on. Let's see. Hold on. Can we have the mic? Can we have the mic? No. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. No, listen. What did you say? Oh, so you grew up in a military family. Okay. So what does that mean? Okay. Every branch of the service? Yes. Right. Every branch of the service represented by my producer over there on the other side of the glass. So that's Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. So we have all four branches represented by my producer, Citizen Germ, on the other side of the glass. What was that? Oh, so we do have all four hymns ready to go. Well, of course we do. Well, why would we not have each hymn of the branch of the military ready to go for the next music segment? Well, of course we would do that. It's Veterans Day. The sacrifice of men and women of America. You know what the crazy thing is damn it, where's Sir Philosopher? Sir Philosopher, I think, is sitting over there. And he is sitting over there on the God blessed couch. Sir Philosopher, get your ass over here. Come over here. Come on. He's got his headphones. He's on the other side of the glass. So I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there dragging him over here. It's 10:20. It's 11:20. He's in there. He's hustling, bustling. I say Sir Philosopher because he is the after party of Saturday morning. I know he's getting no rush. Don't feel rushed. And we're sitting here saying, "Hey, Deadman's in the chat." Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. As Sir Philosopher is getting ready over there in just a few moments, he's going to get over there. We're going to talk about the show and everything in just a few moments. But I see Deadman over there. Shout out to Deadman. Deadman. I talked to Deadman last night. Hashtag we are all Toy Mercs. Hashtag Toy Mercs at Toy Mercs. Follow Toy Mercs. But, Deadman's not been feeling well. The weather's been acting kind of screwy. I mean, I know that he is on the other side of the country because, yes, let's just face it. Our show is all over the country and it's all going all over the world. People listening over in Japan, listening over in Europe, listening in Singapore. God bless America. Bennett, are you listening to this? Are you listening to this? You're probably not. Because I don't blame you for it. But listen, I got Sir Philosopher over here. And the interesting thing is that when it comes to Sir Philosopher, I love the fact that now, so back in the day, can I just tell you something? Back in the day, I used to have someone follow up this show, and all they played was musical theater themes. I tell you what, if there's anything that will make this pink felt bristle with wonderful amazingness, that is Broadway songs. But then out of nowhere, I'm going to tell you, I don't know where it came from, but Sir Philosopher, all of a sudden sprung out of nowhere. And he is going to be following up our show. Now, I was able to get him here. The reason why I say that is because I'm just going to have to listen. I sat there. During the earlier part of the show, I sat there and I said, "Hey, listen, it's Veterans Day. Don't sit there and try to listen, make sure you play something." And you were like, "I don't know about that." It's like, I don't want to say, it's like, I don't want to be political. Listen, what is political about giving a shout out to, yesterday, the Marines celebrated their 248th birthday as the greatest fighting force ever to be established in the history of the world, outside of some alien invasion army. But outside of that, in terms of humans, Sir Philosopher, I was like, "Hey, why don't you play something?" He was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not going to play that. You know what? I'm an anarchist." No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Listen, I love Sir Philosopher. Sir Philosopher is going to be here in about a half hour, and he plays some of the best music. It's some of the, the other week he played Backstreet Boys. It was a cover of the back. I Want It That Way. And it was by somebody else. What is it? What? Oh, you mean that thinks you think that makes you feel old? Yeah, when they start covering the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, that means you're old as Methuselah. But that's okay. Anyways, I have Sir Philosopher here, and maybe we'll start doing this here on a regular basis. But I have Sir Philosopher here, kind of getting everybody in tune for what's going to happen. We got about 35 minutes before you start kicking ass and taking names. Sir Philosopher is with us, but listen, when I was like, "Hey, why don't you play something?" When it comes to our service members, you went all anarchist on me. What the hell's going on?
I mean, not rapidly.
What do you mean, not rapidly? Oh, say that again. So you said not rapidly. What does that mean?
I mean, it's more from feeling disenfranchised politically. Probably, I'm not throwing Molotov cocktails around.
Well, God bless America. I hope you're not throwing Molotov cocktails. I hope you are not the person. Listen, the last thing that I want is to sit there and promote your show after mine and say that you are the guy that actually what is it? Was it destroy the property values of people over there on Monument Avenue? We don't want that to be the case. Like, so you're not
No,
that guy, are you?
those are not anarchists. They're agents of chaos.
Whoa, hold on, wait a minute. So there's a difference between anarchist and agent of chaos. Listen, this is that Sir Philosopher type of stuff. This is what I want to get here on a Veterans Day before we sit there and go to our next music break. Sir Philosopher, tell me what you're talking about.
I mean, if you care about freedom, there's a basic principle of respecting privacy, property, and such. And so the idea of self-government is self-rule. It's not no rules. And that was sort of at the spirit of our founding. So, it's fitting to mention the Marines today, as I'm informed they go back to George Washington by Sam Newsman. And I have a bunch of relatives. So we grew up in a war family too. I mean, going back generations, multiple wars and such.
So when you think about what's going on, freedom, democracy, and everything like that. Listen, but you do support veterans. You do support people like taking the ability to have a selfless respect of like, hey, listen, it's not about me, it's about us. It's about my family. But and you completely understand that, right?
Oh, definitely. I have I know a lot of people that serve currently, and you get to know them and what they've been through, and you can Monday morning quarterback after the fact. That's too easy, but you hear their experiences and you earn respect for the people that went through what they did, for sure.
When you think about people that have served, now, of course, well, here I am. I'm a real media puppet. Been doing this since Roswell. You might as well just say that I have government contracts, anyway. But outside of that, as a citizen, and then you never served, but the idea of people serving in order to allow us to have some of the freedoms. Now, I said just a few moments ago, I believe if I look at the chart, we're somewhere around 18, 19th in terms of freedoms in the world. So if I say that we're 18th, 19th, now we often sit there and think that we are one of the freest countries, but if we're sitting here hanging out at like 18 and 19, listen, there's no one else that I would want to ask this question to than a Sir Philosopher to tell me exactly like what do you think? What is missing? Shouldn't we be number one? What is going on?
I mean, aside from out of pride, being like, oh, we're number one. I mean, you can be proud of the positive things that you are. I think where we're at is partially the result of centralization. The more centralized power, the more corruption at that center.
Well, no, I think that is spot on. You nailed it. It is 11:30 here on 11:11. I think you nailed it. Listen, I want to give a couple of stats here before we go. So, but before I go, listen, do you have anything fun that you're going on in about 30 minutes? What's going on?
Well, it's going to be really fun. The show in 30 minutes. It's hashtag 80s kids, 90s teens, where we're all 80s kids, 90s teens, 1 to 99 or whatever.
Listen, my producer's over there jumping back in the back of the other side of the glass. My jumper citizen Jeremy's jumping up and down. He's saying, yes, yes, yes. Can you expound on that just a little bit?
I mean, that's one of the reasons I played that cover, because Fan Mail, that's a really cool punk band, from the early 2000s. But then you play Backstreet Boys and you're reaching back to the 90s too. So it's like a double punch.
I want it that way. Tell me why.
Yeah, and then we played Bye 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 from a hardcore band.
All right, listen, mixtapes. It's 11:30 now. We got 30 minutes before we sit there and rock and roll with mixtapes. Mixtapes, the official after party of Saturday morning radio. Like I said, my buddy Skydro Walker, he's one of the premier photographers in toy photography. During his whole wake and bake picture take after the show, you know what he has jamming through the whole speakers the whole time? It is mixtapes. You do a lot of cool stuff. And I will say, listen, before we let you go, can I give you a tip of the cap? A tip of the cap for doing Homestar Runner stuff. What is the reason why that Homestar Runner means so much to you?
I mean, I was looking for stuff that was goofy and fun and part of that nostalgia of Saturday morning. And I got you, who doesn't love Homestar Runner and Strong Bad?
Strong bad, strong bad. No, no. Listen. Here's the thing. It's like, so here's the challenge. The challenge. I got to get some Trogdor, like some songs coming on. Hopefully, we'll get that soon. But so real quick before we head out, where can people follow you? Where can they find you? And then where can they listen to the show? Here's a whole promo segment for you. I'm gonna give you the floor. Go.
Well, of course, we have the show at noon globally, WDCE.org, and in Richmond, 90.1 FM. And then I have a playlist. If you find me at Surf Philosopher on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, but try searching hashtag Surf Philosopher, where we have a 24/7 playlist. You can listen along with me to what I'm listening to during the week, and then watch it get slashed down to about 25 songs for the show.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. You burned through that. Listen, I'm not going to do. Listen, I know. Listen, I'm not going to do the. Listen, so full disclosure, I don't really think I'm going to do the sitcom segment this week. I'm gonna salute the troops here with the hymns of each armed forces. Each branch of the armed forces here in a moment. But could you just slow down and say that again?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, if you wanted to find me, of course, you could try at Surf Philosopher on Instagram, X, or Facebook. But do me a favor and try hashtag Surf Philosopher and see if you can find my 24/7 playlist on YouTube.
Is the hashtag Sir Philosopher a better way for people to sit there and kind of see you as opposed to just at Sir Philosopher? Like, what's going on? Well, at Sir Philosopher on Instagram, right?
Yes, that's right. I mean, I've tried both, but I've found that the hashtag Surf Philosopher works good for YouTube.
Well, that's good. Okay, well, so hashtag Sir Philosopher, at Sir Philosopher. We are all over the place on social media. At Sam Newsman on Instagram, at Sam Newsman on X, at Sam Newsman on YouTube, at Sam Newsman on Facebook, at Sam Newsman on Instagram, at Sam Newsman on TikTok. The reason why I don't do TikTok right now is because every time I try to live stream on TikTok, somebody gets butt hurt and says that I'm sending misinformation. It's insane. I don't know why they do that, but they do. But anyway, Sir Philosopher, thank you so much for joining in. I love the fact that you can come in and that you're here every single week. Listen, the thing about Sir Philosopher is that he shows up early and he is still changing things all the way up until the beginning of the show. Because he's getting the feedback. People are listening to, he's posting things all over his social media saying, there's this album cover, that album cover, this album cover. And then his idea, and you talking about setting the standard, raising the bar. Listen, he is telling you right now that you can sit there and track how he is setting up his show every single week. It swells to 100 something songs, maybe more, and he pulls it back down. And so throughout the week, what you can do is that you can reach out to Sir Philosopher and say, hey, as you've been posting, maybe you should play this song. Because the thing is that he's posting songs, he's posting album covers of songs, but you know what? It's like a basketball tryouts. And you might not make the cut, right? You might not make the cut, right?
Well, I do have a secret list that the ones that don't make it go to that I come back to give them a second chance.
What do you mean the second chance? Forget about second. Forget about second chance. Hold on. What are my buddies? Forget about it. Like that's what they say. Forget about it. But but you do. But so that's what happens is real quick. I know we're running short here. But that's what you do. You sit there. You take a whole bunch of songs. You swell it up to about 100, maybe even more, maybe a little less. But then you just kind of tighten it up to what you want to play on Saturday mornings, right? Or Saturday afternoons, right at noon, right?
Oh yeah, that's exactly right. Because you have fun. You really listen to anything during the week. But Saturday's got like a special feel. So just like whatever's still popping on Friday night, that's what I'm playing on Saturday probably.
Well, the goal is hopefully that not everything is anti-military as I'm sitting there doing a Veterans Day show. So, well, get the hell off my microphone. Anyways, that is Sir Philosopher. God bless him. God love him. You're going to hear him in about 25 minutes. I got to get out of here. I want to salute the veterans here. I want to sit there and think just one more time. Like, so, okay, so real quick, we have no, you know what? All right, I have the statistics of the veterans here. I have this. I have the stats. I have the stats of the veterans right over there. We're gonna do that at the top of or at the next segment. That's one to learn with. We're gonna have the veteran statistics after that. But before we get to that, so we're gonna honor each branch of the military: the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines. Thank you all for your service. There's nothing more that I can really say. Is that you are the selflessness humans, it's the selflessness humans of selflessness humans. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have freedom, which is nothing more than a marketing phrase. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Veterans Day.